Welcome to the Oxen Group Nightly. My name is Dave Ristow. I'm the CEO, President, and Founder of the Oxen Group. The Oxen Group is located at www.theoxengroup.com and is your source for all of today's financial analysis and investment ideas. Here's our recap for June 23rd. For Thursday's market wrap-up, we'll be talking about how the day went in the market. We'll also be looking at some of our new positions, updating you on some of our other portfolios, such as Giorgio's Corner and the Extended Value portfolio. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, and as always, please check out our disclaimer at the end of our video. The market had a very interesting, wild day today, dropping as much as 200 points in the morning and only to end up down about 60 points. That was due to a flurry of news that came out today. Started out the day pretty weak as the market weakened early on the news of the IEA and the government bringing about 60 million barrels of oil to the market. The influx of supply definitely did hurt the price of oil, dropped it pretty significantly, which led a lot of energy companies to quickly fall off, and that sort of helped push down the whole market. And then that was all in reaction to the sort of the Bernanke comments yesterday that were overall pretty much bearish. Helping along with that was a report that came out that the jobless numbers was worse than expected. They came in at 429K, which was above expectations. The only good news that I did see on the day, although overall, really in reality, it wasn't too great, was the new home sales. They came in at 319,000 for the year, estimated for the year, which was a drop from April's 326K, but it was better than the expected 310K. Housing market numbers have been a little bit better than expected. The thoughts of how far down these numbers would be is not quite as bad as was expected, so that does help the market a little bit there, but still pretty much a week, and we're pretty much just scraping along the bottom here on the housing market. You can see pretty much the roller coaster ride the market took today. It dropped early on the oil and the data, but then in the afternoon we got a sharp spike after the Greece announced that they have austerity plan. They have the approval of the EU and the IMF for a 5-year austerity plan. Really helped quickly drop the dollar, which helped out equities, and then rallying off that news there. Any good news that comes out of Greece is definitely going to be bullish for the market, simply because of the global implications that we have today. Is it Greece's fix and the end of that and the end of everything? No. But definitely you have to believe that until we get something else that says the reverse of what we hear today, we're going to be looking pretty good for Greece. At the same time, I would be worried still about this market. I do think there are a lot of structural issues with what's going on, but you have to like what you're seeing from the market when it rallied today off the lows of the day and really took it, made this day pretty much bearable on that late push. Although I think there's a lot of stocks out there that need to catch up, and I do think that will be another reason why I might be bullish going into tomorrow. We were able to pick up a trade in United Health, which performed pretty well on the day. Closed higher than its open. Got a very nice bullish candlestick and hammer. What we did was we sold these 48 calls today on UNH. The last 2 days, the drop over the last 2 days has allowed those calls to the premiums, which were at basically bargain prices. I'm sorry, we're at the bottom of, we're almost ready to expire, worthless. Those quickly became a lot more valuable over the last 2 days. But you see, this stock has just an amazing amount of support lines below it, above 48. And as long as the stock can close above 48 by July 16, 2011, we're going to make a 100% gain. Now, we're hopefully looking to close out as UNH continues forward. Those options will decay right now at a 2-cent rate per day into July 16. So every day we'll be making 2 cents, and then that's if the stock were to go completely flat. Now, the stock has been able to hold 50 very well. You see today hit 50 and got great support there. There's a nice support line there. You've got price channel coming in at under that, about 49.25, as well as the 20-day moving average. That creates another support line. And then you also see the 50-day moving average coming in at about 48.50, which creates another support line. And if that wasn't enough, you see that the stock has pretty much held 48 pretty nicely. That seems to be another support line. And the great thing about the stock, what we really like, and what put us over the edge about taking this position and risking that money on these trades, was look at the 50-day moving average. This stock has not broken its 50-day moving average since December of 2011. This company had great earnings back in April and also again in February. And the company, lifted forecasts in April, has been getting tons of upgrades. Most of the price estimates for the company have gone on the up from about 50 to up to 60, up to 70 now. So everything's moving in the right direction. It is an expensive stock right now. It has moved a lot, but we do see the probability of it moving back to 48 before that expiration date is low, and we do think that any upward movement in this stock is going to push those puts down in price, and we would be betting on this thing moving up rather than down. You're going to see that moving average continue to move higher, the price channel continue to move higher, and this support line continue to hold, which will then pinch, and you almost have actually have an upward pointing wedge in the middle of an upward price channel. That's a really bullish technical chart right there. We also like the Dow. That we think the Dow is very range bound right now. 12,200 is a top and 11,900 is a bottom. We've held 11,900 now for 3 consecutive times, and we've held 12,000. We've gotten resistance at 12,200 3 consecutive times. This is a great range, and we're right in the middle of it right now. But we're on the way back up already after today. I would say we're going to continue higher tomorrow. And then we'll be into the new week, and that may continue. That may push us into maybe a new range or something fundamental might change. But the news on Greece is very bullish. That's going to drop the dollar into tomorrow, and we like actually going long here rather than short. Other than that, we went all cash into the day, so we didn't have any other new positions, and we didn't get into anything when the announcement came out, simply just because this market is extremely volatile. We had the bullish put the calls, sold those bullish. We took a bullish position on UNH by selling those puts, and that was our call on the bull side. We would add another bullish position tomorrow or two if we feel the need to, but we would like to get confirmation that GDP estimate coming out tomorrow does give us a little bit of weariness moving into that. We did recommend several other positions, though, to our members today. It didn't take any official positions on these, but we did recommend buying CBB, selling puts on Coventry Health. We recommended going long on oil after we saw that Greek austerity program coming out. We also like selling puts on XOM, COP, and Halliburton. I do think that there are some short candidates out there. If we did see a pullback tomorrow, we'd like VECO and XL Maritime. Those are 2 good shorts. We also like Valero as a short, despite the fact that we are a little bit bullish on oil. Valero, does have a natural gas connection as well as oil. And the thing about them is they just broke out of a really strong upper price channel they had been at, and they look like they're headed to 24, which is where the 200-day moving average is at. If they hit that 200-day moving average and can't hold it, this stock's going to fall apart very quickly. And if we see any weakness in oil tomorrow, despite what I would assume would happen with strength in oil tomorrow, but if there's something that does happen and weakens oil tomorrow moving into that day, we would possibly put on a short on Valero. Giorgio Ferrer, he's our other main trader, and he operates the portfolio Georgia's Corner. He was made 22% today on his diamonds vertical put spread he got into yesterday. He didn't enter any new other positions today. For extended value portfolio, we have there's application software, equity analytics are due out by the end of the week. For tomorrow, the market looks strong into close. It was led by tech. We think that pop probably should continue tomorrow with a lower dollar, the Greek austerity plan, the GDP quarter 3 estimate. While I do think that is a bit concerning, I think that was a lot of what we saw today was priced in from that expectations that that's going to be weak. So you get a confirmation of a weaker GDP. You get a confirmation of that. That's going to lower the dollar, increase commodity prices, increase equities probably. And we, that's the funny thing about the peculiar and ironic thing about the market is typically when we have an expectation of a bad news report coming out later on the week, we'll get a down day prior to that or 2 down days prior to that, thus Wednesday and Friday, Thursday. And then when we do get the confirmation of what we were expecting to hear, typically the market reacts actually fairly well. And so I would be bullish also that I think we'll get confirmation GDP is probably going to come in around where it's expected. If it beats it, that's going to really push the market higher. If we get a little bit under, I would not be too concerned about a little bit under. We get a huge drop, though, a huge miss, and we might be seeing another pullback tomorrow. We did have key earnings from Oracle and after hours. Those came in, I think, better than expected, although the market seemed to be selling it off a little bit in after hours. We will have to watch that and see how that does into tomorrow. That's all for today. Visit us at www.theoxengroup.com. Email us, call us, become a part of our 70% plus accuracy.